With Hall of Famer Billy Wagner. It feels like, Billy, with guys like Ron and I who've been advocates of yours for a long time, we've been saying that anyway. Now that it's official, how do you feel?
Overwhelmed. I think when you walk into that room of Hall of Famers and you see the plaques, you question it. Should I be here? And when people they give you this jersey and this hat, and you start to it's still a little surreal, and it's such an honor, and to walk with some of these people that are just the greats of the greats.
I spent a lot of time around Ralph Kiner, and he said each year got tougher and tougher. I saw you when you got the announcement. You were very emotional. Where did all that emotion come from?
The 10th year was a big buildup. Everybody's expecting that you should get in, but and so you couldn't help but watch the tracker, and the tracker was that was very difficult. I'm glad they have it, but it was very difficult because you hear somebody say, well, there's going to be there's going to be a 4% that's going to drop, and you're trying to average that out, and so the mind games that you play, the mental game. And so that phone call, as soon as I got, and it was supposed to come at 5:15, and I'm looking at my phone, it's 5:16, and so you start thinking those things. And so when it hit, it was just that flush of emotion, of excitement, and the endurance of that whole fight to maintain your sanity, and really just the appreciation, the love of the sports, and that you get to move on.
It's been a fight for you since the beginning. I mean, the back of your baseball card almost reads like that of a mythological character, right? You're not 6'5". You had 100 in your pocket from the Ferrum College days on in. Other guys get discovered because the scouts were looking at you, Eric Owens, and people like that. But take me to the beginning of the Astros days, and you're the young guy on a staff of veteran dudes, and Darryl Kyle and Shane Reynolds and Donnie Wall. What were those days like for young Billy Wagner?
Well, I remember in Tucson when I was pitching, and Donnie was like the mayor of Tucson. He won like 17, 20 games every year, and he was a pitcher. He knew exactly what was going on, and I was just raw. And so Craig McMurtry was there. Darryl Kyle was there. And, they had this experience, and they knew how to pitch. I had no idea what I was doing. My instruction was throw it as hard as you can in that direction, and then throw a curveball. I'm not looking at velocity. I don't even know what that means. Just because I was throwing hard and striking guys out, that wasn't going to be – but I was going to be a starter. So that was the plan when I went up. So, when the guys got hurt, Hudak and guys got hurt, and they just kind of threw me in. It was kind of the luck of the draw, and so I was able to play off that one or two pitches.
I was thinking that this is a touchy subject now, and you coach young people. You were very durable. You very rarely got hurt. How did you keep your arm sound when so many others are not able to now?
I think it was just the way we did things. I think, we were built for longevity by doing long toss. And, all the things that they do today with heavy balls and things like that, we were doing with hay bales. And we were doing this with, we ran a different – it was just we did all these things, but it just wasn't the fancy names.
You're playing down your arsenal, talking about yourself being a one-pitch guy, because we remember in '98 when Randy Johnson got traded over to the Astros, something changed for you, and the unit shared his slider with you, and there's another weapon for Billy Wagner, another rung under the Hall of Fame. What were those conversations like?
Well, really about that big. I walked over to him, and I said, "How do you hold your slider?" And he went, "Like this." And that's all he said to me. He likes to say he taught me the slider. He did not. Brad Lidge taught me the slider.
Okay.
He literally, unit, you're getting no credit for this. He literally went like this. That's all he told me. And Lidge was the one, I was in the bullpen, and I was struggling. And it was first game of the year, and I was really struggling. And I walked down and I said, "Brad, what is going on?" He goes, "Do this, do that." And I was just, and it was different.
Wow.
It was so different. And I mean, I was throwing a slider early, like 80, 82, and he showed me one grip and a thought, and I was 88. And it was just crazy. And and Brad has the nastiest slider.
Yeah.
Him and Rob Nin, probably two of the nastiest sliders I've ever seen. And that was, when that was good, that was really good. That was a big difference.
Everyone needs a Brad Lidge in their life, don't they?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, one of the most important things is when you see your plaque, and it'll have this history written on it about you. What would you like to see on your plaque?
Endurance. Because I think for a reliever to get there, you think about Lee Smith, you think about guys like Goose, Eck, all these guys. I mean, to get to this point in your career, you got to have endurance, and you go through so much. You're one pitch away from scrutiny, where as a starter you have some luxury to get through some innings, but endurance and just thinking about watching Mo, he made it look so easy, but the endurance it took him every single day to go out there and just be so good every day. And him and Hoffy were just phenomenal.
We loved watching you, man. And I know that you've heard from a lot of friends and family and ex-teammates, but on behalf of all of us that have watched you from the beginning, man, way to go.
Appreciate that.
Happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.